Preparing to do disc brakes on my 1951 Studebaker Commander Starlight Coupe. I got it up in the air on my lift. Guys, take the wheels off, obviously. So I'm going to start with that and then see how it goes. This wheel has two different size lug nuts on it. That one's about a 3/4 and that one's about a 13/16. I assure you, when I'm done, we'll have 5 of the same. Let's see what's in there now. The next thing to do is pop off the grease caps. Look at that. It's an official grease cap remover installer tool. Bought it when I was working at the Honda shop. Anyway, it grips underneath the grease cap right here. Pops it off. All right, get the cotter pins out. I use diagonal cutter. Hey, it's tight. That's weird. So I got new bearings, so I'm not using these bearings again. But I will need to use this washer again. Ah, look at that. We just take all this stuff off because we're not using any of it. We need to save a lot of time and just take it off at the... Yeah, it's got 6 bolts. Most cars only have 4. Huh. Kind of interesting. Let's have a better look. This is the right front of the 51 Studebaker. Those are kind of cool. But I'm going to leave it all together, hopefully. You just take out these six nuts and pop the whole thing off. And I'll probably just also cut the brake hose here because I got brand new ones. And then we'll clean it up and start working putting the brakes back on. I'm using a DeWalt impact with a adapter. I got that one loose. That was loose already. That one's loose. The steering's on 2 of these. Let's see. I found my 9/16 wrench. So it's behind the wheelie bobber here. Save all my parts in Ziploc bags and document everything. Oh, by the way, it's Father's Day. Although my father's deceased. Yeah, I know he would enjoy working on my Studebaker with me. Ah, see it's spinning. Why can't I get a wrench on it? Right there. Oh, there it goes. Well, that wasn't so bad. We'll once I was able to see it. It's the grease catcher. Let's get a grease catcher so and a drain. It's got the drain on it. Drains down. Hopefully there's a hole, but there's not. I'm going to cut the hose now and then pull that whole thing off. And I'm going to cut the hose because I'll never use it again. And if I did it, just buy a new one. Alright. If I want to sell these on eBay, they're complete units. Look at that. Take all these bolts out, put them back in the bag. And I got to clean up the front area and put the brackets on it from the Turner brake kit. Alright, I got everything off the spindle and cut the hose off as we saw earlier. And then I took a gasket scraper, just almost a putty knife but narrower, and I dug out all the muck off the frame. You know, everything loose and gross. Some way I could actually find the grease nipples eventually. So it doesn't have to be perfect. It's not a restoration. Just want to be able to find the mechanical stuff I'm going to be working on. And use a wire, so several different wire brushes. Just a 3-inch round. And that little cup brush. And not too much with that end brush. So I'm ready to start working on the disc brakes. Hey, here's the first problem I've run into, and I haven't put the collars on yet because I want to make a driver tool, because this isn't going to be the only kit that I install. So I want to make a driver tool. Here's the problem I have now, and these are not fully installed. This bolt hole doesn't line up. You can see it. And why it doesn't line up is it's hitting right here. So what I think I'm going to do is, I've already contacted the manufacturer. I want to wait and see what he says. What they say. And then I'm going to have to notch it where that purple line is. Not a whole lot, maybe like a 1/4 inch. But you can see there's plenty of steel there. It's not going to hurt anything. Alright, here's what I'm starting with for my driver. And it's a little huge. It's going to take a lot of machining. So it's going to sit down inside of there. This bushing is 5/8 inch tall, 0.625. And I'll machine that down, and I'm going to machine off the OD of this a little bit so it's not so bulky. And then I'm going to cut it off and then weld a pipe to it. Alright, here's the finished tool. Made out of an old pipe and a piece of, I don't know, it looks like DOM maybe, drawn over mandrel steel. Already had the hole in the center, so I'm guessing DOM. And I'm not a great welder, but I don't care, just tack weld it on. And the inside of it will hold this, and it will drive only on the outside edge, because the inside edge is weaker. I'm going to do it, I'm going to use it tonight and put that in. Right now I got to go do a locksmith job. At left side I'm going to be heating up with MAP gas. MAP gas is hotter than propane. This one works on either. This is a TS4000. Right? This one works on either propane or MAP gas. Alright, heating it up down here, it's turning red. I am severely against getting things red hot, but ooh, that's hot. That's pretty damn hot. It's way hotter than oh, here it goes. There it is. Ah! Didn't have to get red hot. Look at that. And it's on all the way. Alright, I assembled this bracket onto this bracket on my workbench so I could access the bolts in the back with the torque wrench. I assembled these bolts for here to here with orange thread locker. I watched a bunch of videos on YouTube about Loctite and thread locker, and they say the orange is got the strength of the red and the ability to dismantle like the blue. So that sounded pretty good to me. The bearings that come with the import disc brake rotors, I don't like import bearings. So what I do is I take them out, and I bought new Timken bearings. Set 2 and set 6, and these are for Studebaker and Ford Mustang. Seems unlikely, but it's true, it's true. And then the dust seal you're gonna need is, okay, where'd you go? Oh, here we go. The Ford dust seal, not the Studebaker. So 6815. And then I'm going to show you how I tack wheel bearings. Alright, this is a bearing packer. So you put your bearing on there. Put this other half back on. Then put your grease gun on it. Pump it full of grease. No fuss, no muss. See it? So then take it out. And you can finish. Alright. Then you put the bearing in. Don't forget to put the bearing in before you put the seal in. Look at that. Well, there's the original washer. I don't think I can use that because I won't be able to put the grease cap on. So we're using these. Dorman. Part number is 05190. But I think what they want you to do is use that kit, that spacer washer, and this piece here because it's multifaceted, and then put the cotter pin through there with the original nut. And I think that'd work. I'm not sure I like it that much, but that may be what happens. Let's see how horrible it is to put the caliper on. There it is. So we gotta grind that off because it's hitting the bracket. Ground it off. I started my belt sander, and then I ran out of room, so then I used my die grinder. And you can't mix them up. This one's got an R cast into the body right there. R means right. Bleeder goes up. Alright, now, before the pad falls out again, well, it wasn't too bad. Alright, so we tighten these guys. So it's a 3/8 Allen wrench. I got some advice here for you on calipers. What I did was, when I got the parts list from Turner's, I went and looked up what the calipers actually went to, and then I bought calipers off Rock Auto for that application, but got myself in trouble because the calipers I bought got the bleeder on one end and the hose on the other end, and the hose on the other end sits right against the steering arms. So I was a little bit put off by that. And these are fully loaded, not just semi-loaded. And I found out semi-loaded just means it comes with the pins. Big deal. I took the original number and I had them cross-reference it at the Napa. And I got this style, and it's got the bleeder at the top and the hose mounts at the top. But the hoses I bought, which has the recommended number on it, even though he gave me two hoses for free, the 3/8 160. The problem with the 3/8 160 is, when I ordered them, and this one's a Sunsong, the banjo bolts and the washers, when you stack them in there, you only got like a 1/4 inch thread left to screw into the caliper, and I'm not comfortable with that. The hose that they sent me, and the reason I'm not using the hose that they sent me is it's 2 inches longer than what I need. But anyway, so what I got is with these two washers on it and this. I might have to trim it off a little bit because I'm not sure. So it's kind of fun to make hardware like that. I make a lot of hydraulic bolts and parts that I can't buy. So that's my problem with brake hoses right now, is I'm gonna make my own bolts. I'm in Medford, Oregon, and you can't buy anything here. Go to the parts store and I go, oh yeah, we got tons of banjo bolts, and they pull out the same one every time. So this is the caliper that I bought, installed. The one that's got the bleeder and the hose on the top. Anyway, it's going to go from the top of the caliper right here, right over to there. So that's going to be perfect size.